Now let's talk about some basic rules of differentiation. First of all, I want you to remember that the derivative is the slope of the tangent at a point. Okay? The derivative tells us how the slope is changing. Now, the constant rule says that the derivative of a constant function is 0. That is, for any real number, if I take the derivative of that constant, that derivative is 0, which basically just says the slope is 0. Let's look at the using the definition to find this. All right, this is the limit as delta x approaches 0 of f of x plus delta x minus f of x divided by delta x. All right, so this is f prime. Should have read that first. So this is equal to the limit as delta x approaches 0. Now, a constant f of x plus delta x here is just going to be c minus c divided by delta x. So this is just 0. So the slope of any horizontal line is 0. So if I were to come up here and I wanted to find y prime is 0. If I wanted to find f prime of x is 0. If I wanted to find s prime of t, it is 0. If I wanted to find y prime, it is 0 if both of these are constants. Now let's look at the power rule. The power rule says that if n is a rational number, then the function f of x equals x to the n is differentiable, and the derivative with respect to x of x to the n is n times x to the n minus 1. N has to be a number such that x to the n minus 1 is defined on the interval, and we will find a few of these where we wind up with non-differentiables. However, let me show you a way to remember this. You drag down the n, okay, and then you carry the x, and then reduce by 1. So bring it to the front, and then reduce by 1. The constant multiple rule is really straightforward. Basically, you can factor this out of the derivative. And I'm not going to show you the whole proof of this, but basically a constant times a derivative is the derivative. Let's see. Let me do it this way. Basically, we can move that constant inside or outside of the derivative as needed. Now, the derivative of x is 1. Let me show you how we do this one using the power rule. In this case, this is really x to the first power. So to take the derivative with respect to x of x, all right, to the 1. Remember what we're going to do? We're going to bring this power down. We're going to bring the 1 down, so this is 1. And then it's going to be times x to the, now what power are we going to be left with? Okay, you start with 1 and then you subtract 1. So this becomes 1 times x to the 0. Now remember, any number raised to the 0 is 1. So this is 1 times 1, or 1. Let's see if we can use the rule. The derivative with respect to x of x to the n is n x to the n minus 1. I'll write it up here for us. So f prime of x is 3x to the 3 minus 1, or 3x squared. G prime of x is, now this is really, see, this is really x to the 1/3. So this is 1/3 x to the 1/3 minus 1. or 1/3 x to the minus 2/3. Now for the last one, y, I'm going to rewrite this as x to the negative 2. So y prime is equal to negative 2 x to the negative 3. And I'm going to rewrite that this way. I mean, you don't have to.